Got a new project coming out soon. Can you tell us about 18 and a half and your character in the film?
Yeah, it's 18 and a half. It's about the 18 and a half minute gap in the Watergate tapes and a transcriber named Connie who takes it upon herself to be a whistleblower of sorts and publicize the 18 and a half minute gap that she's found. Um, and I think it's a very kind of politically salient comedy thriller.
Perfect segue to this next question, but you've worked on projects that marry unlikely genres together. And like you're just saying, 18 and a half is a political thriller meets dark comedy. How fun has
Yeah.
it been for you to be a part of projects that defy conventional norms? And was that one of the reasons why you were attracted to this project?
Yeah, definitely. I think that I think that as a viewer, I really appreciate any film, TV, whatever that is doing something that's different because I think it's so kind of easy to just, stay so close to the comfort zone. And as a performer, I also love to play within those kind of genre bending worlds that are just to me as an artist a lot more interesting and exciting than something that's a little more cookie cutter.
Throughout your career, you've brought these powerful female characters to life on the screen. Who are the women in your own life who have shaped the person and artist that you are today?
Oh wow. I mean, definitely my mom, Mother's Day, but a couple days ago. I mean, she's a wonderful person, an incredible artist, more creative than I could ever hope to be. And has certainly been incredibly supportive to me my entire life. And just, giving me the space to kind of do whatever I wanted to do. And I think, there's so many women in the industry that I think have been so kind of supportive to me and inspiring to me over my career. A lot of women in the theater. I worked a lot with the Worcester Group experimental theater company when I was in college, and Kate Volk and Elizabeth Lecomte are just two women who are so strong and so powerful and make such interesting and unexpected work. I mean, the list is very long, but my mom obviously has to be at the top.
And 18 and a half was one of the last projects to film before the shutdown and one of the first features to pick up with the new
Yeah.
protocols. How challenging was that for you? And during that 6 month gap, did it change the way that you approach this character?
Wow, yeah, I guess it was 6 months. Yeah, I mean, it was such an intensely weird time. I think it's like, I don't feel quite like far enough away from it yet to really even totally understand it. Since, I've been working in a lot of places that, you know, for were in lockdown even into
Mm.
last year and stuff. And so I feel still quite close to the kind of strangeness of it all, but did it change anything for me about Connie? I don't I don't I don't think consciously, but I think necessarily I'm sure that there was just a different energy brought to the character when I picked it back up, however many months later that was, after everything that had happened. I think it's certainly, I think we all have been profoundly affected in ways that I don't think we will even realize for a little bit. I think there's going to have to be some decompression time.
Definitely. You and John have this incredible chemistry on screen. How were you, the two of you, able to build that bond? Was it just natural from day one?
Yeah, I think we got kind of lucky. I think John is great, and we really, just we vibed very well kind of off the bat. He and I actually have the same agents. And so I had heard that he was great, and I kind of like knew, secondhand that he was very beloved. And we, as always kind of happens when you're shooting, we shot together for like a week and a half, I think, before anyone else came onto the show. We had like a full kind of week and a half of just our scenes. And yeah, I mean, I think we both just had such a fun time playing together as those characters, and just, by necessity we're having, a drink after work and chatting and just growing the connection that way too. But he's just fantastic. He's such a great scene partner.
Something that really stood out to me in this film was the incredible set design and the costumes. How
Yeah,
helpful was that as you transported yourself back to the 70s and as you
yeah,
prepared to step into Connie's shoes?
yeah. Well, we lived in that motel that we shot in. So we were living at the Silver Sands Motel. So we were waking up in our rooms and then going to someone else's room to like shoot the scene of the day. And it's fun. It's really, that's one of the really fun parts about an indie film is it feels like summer camp. You're just like kind of like, making uh a play together. And it's an experience you don't get to have when you're shooting some big budget thing. And so it really it's very much a bonding experience, and it very much kind of keeps you in the world of what you're doing.
Yeah, that actually is the answer to this next question. But you've worked
Oh,
on
cool.
projects of all sizes. What is it about independent filmmaking that excites you as a creative? And what is your vetting process like when you decide what projects you want to go out for?
Yeah, I mean, I love indie film because it is just, it's not, there's none of the preciousness about, we are being given this many millions of dollars, so it has to be a commercial success or whatever. You can kind of just be more interested in fundamentally more artistic questions and less commercial questions, which is, as an actor and as an artist, always, to me, way more exciting. I mean, I read everything that gets sent to me for the most part. And I think it's just, I think the projects that you end up doing, there's just like, there's something in them where you just are kind of like, and it might not immediately be like a full, like, yes, I want to do it. Because definitely some stuff is more of a slow burn. But I do think that the projects that you're supposed to do kind of do find you. And I think that I learned so much on every job that I'm on that there's kind of like no bad experiences.
Mm.
It's all kind of just a continual sort of, learning and growth in your own craft. And I think there's something to be taken away from so many different jobs.
Yeah, you were talking about success earlier. The film has made its way around the festival circuit. It's been incredibly well received. What do you think is resonating most with audiences, and what do you hope they take away when this film drops?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really interesting kind of um historical fiction dark comedy. And I think that it's speaking to a lot of the um, political questions that a lot of us have been asking for a few years. And I think that it's doing it in a way that's like not, smacking you over the head, and instead kind of giving you the space to be like, how do you want to engage with this topic of Watergate? And I think that that is, that kind of filmmaking just trusts that the audience is smart and interested in actually watching the film and making connections and associations, and instead of being like, this is what you should think and this is why you should think that. And so I hope that people kind of engage with it in an open-ended and sort of interested way.
Final question for you. Besides this film, what's next for you?
I'm on House of Usher, which is Mike Flanagan's new show for Netflix. So that's probably what's coming up next.